Good afternoon. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Welcome to the Tuesday Rotary Club of Gainesville meeting for July 11th, 2023. If you're watching on Zoom, please register your participation by sending an email to info@rotary.org. Once again, I messed that up from last week. The email is info@rotarygainesville.org. And as a reminder, if you'd please silence your cell phones if you've not already done so, I'd appreciate that. And now bringing to the podium Jeff Sims to lead us in the song and pledge.
Why, thank you so much. And I'd like to announce there is no joke today. Yeah. And there are no comments either. So please join me in My Country 'Tis of Thee. Gordon, maestro. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. And where my fathers died, land of the pilgrims born, from and the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jeff. And now for our invocation, joining us via Zoom, Kevin Thorpe.
May we pray. Lord, we are beyond grateful for this day. We thank you for all that it means. We thank you for this special summer season and the blessings you continue to provide for us. We pray now for each and every one of our youth exchange students, for their families and the great experiences that they have enjoyed. We look forward to hearing their comments today. Continue to watch over us and protect us for your sake and for your glory. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, if visiting Rotarians and guests will remain seating to be introduced, Jason will bring around the microphone.
Okay, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Good to see you. I wanted to introduce my guests, Delaney Rodkin and Sam Madsen, who will be presenting later on, and they each have a guest that they would like to introduce.
Hi everyone, my name's Delaney. I'm a Rotary Youth Exchange student going to Argentina next year. I'm happy to be presenting to you all today. I'd like to introduce my grandma, Candy Steinway, who came with me today.
Hi, my name is Sam Madsen, the outbound to Hungary, and this is my mom, Brooke Madsen.
Hi, thank you. I'm Richard Allen, and our guest today is Michelle Dunlap. Michelle has been here previously. She's an accomplished author, a speaker, writing coach, editor, and diversity-affirming evangelist. Woo!
Thank you. Welcome. We're happy to have you all with us. And now for announcements, Helen Gilstrom.
All right. I spared you all the embarrassment of looking at it all the time we're here. So we're talking about the Undy 500. Jenny has reported we have 236 pairs already ordered. Lynn has received some of them, so we're getting close. I went shopping. Target, Dollar General, Walmart, no excuse. If you want to go shopping, you want to do it local, you can do it. But you got the list in the mail and you can order it, and it's really easy. Okay, if you need help, ask John Cousins because he knows how to do it. So what I want to introduce to you, Lynn Black Murphy, and she said she's here instead of Kelly. She's not. She is the woman that keeps Kelly going at the school board. She's a partnership specialist with the school volunteers and partners, and she's going to tell us a little bit about where all this is going.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. My name is Lynn Black Murphy. I'm the Business Partner Specialist for Alachua County School Volunteers and Partners in Education. It's a mouthful, I know. We are thrilled to be the recipient of your wonderful Undy 500 program. It makes a huge difference every year for the schools. We send out a Google Sheet to the nurses, and the nurses let us know what sizes they need, and based on what they've used in the past and what their enrollment is. It goes to all the schools. We have 42 schools, so every nurse, every school has an opportunity to order underwear. There tend to be about 7 to 10 schools that order the most, and that's okay. That's just the way it shakes out. I love getting underwear. It's a totally different thing, getting underwear in the mail instead of a bill or something I'm supposed to write. Like, oh, that's for you, but I have underwear to go sort. So I'm the one who gets to do that. That was one of my first tasks when I started in January. I'm brand new to this position. And it was a neat thing for me to be able to do, fill an order, organize the underwear, all that kind of thing, you know. It started because there were kids coming to school without underwear, too poor to buy underwear. And that's still a problem. Poverty is alive and well in Alachua County and around the world. Calling it Undy 500 sort of lightens that in a way that makes it, you know, you're meeting a need, and then it's kind of a funny way to talk about it. And so it makes people feel warm and fuzzy and good about it. I use it when I'm trying to get other donations and people are saying, well, I can't do that. Is there something else I could do? And I have a list of things that they could do, other things. And you guys, you're one of my favorite stories because it always makes people chuckle and feel good, and it helps open their minds to other things they might be able to collect and donate and feel like they're making a difference. And I think everyone wants to feel like they're making a difference in their communities and with kids. A side effect of this, besides kids needing underwear and not having it at school, is that we're behind, right? A lot of the kids that need underwear are also behind academically. They don't have the same start that other kids do that have better financial resources and parents with more education. And so any time that they have to miss school is really a bummer for them. So if a kid has an accident in the morning, they go home for the day, their parent leaves work, it's a hardship economically for the parents, and the kids don't come back. Parent doesn't bring the kid back. That's a day they miss because of an accident. So this, as a secondary thing, as a secondary benefit, has allowed them to stay in school longer and not be embarrassed and be able to continue to function and get their needs met. That was true probably before the pandemic, but the pandemic has really hurt education. Kids at all socioeconomic levels are about a half a year to a year behind in math and English. And so for these kids that really need this, it's a bigger whammy for them. So we're thrilled that we're a recipient. The nurses are happy, the faculty's happy, the teachers are happy about it. We hear from them that thank you so much, this is wonderful. So it does make a big difference. It seems like a small thing, but you know, a lot of the small things, food, shelter, clothing, they make a huge difference for our schools and our community. So thank you so much, and enjoy your lunch.
Thank you, Helen and Lynn. And now, please join me in a warm welcome for our president, Linda Reinhardt.
All right, I'll keep it short and sweet because we've got some great speakers today. But I did want to once again remind you guys, RLI, August 12th, and Vibrant Club Seminar, August 26th. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Deborah Newell to introduce today's speakers.
Thank you, everyone. You have all been so generous this past year as we have gotten Rotary Youth Exchange off the ground. It hasn't been without a couple of bumps, but as we are retooling things and building it as we fly it after the hiatus of COVID, that's to be expected. And everyone has come along and supported, and we have presentations from our outbound students whom I believe most of you have met. We have Galen Marcinek, Delaney Rodkin, and Sam Madsen, and they are going to present to you what is their elevator speech in the language of the country that they're going to, and then give an overview of the things that they hope to see and do and the things that have enticed them that they've learned about the country that they're going to. Now, you'll notice that we have two folks and their moms, grandmom, sitting over here at the table. Gaylin is on a holiday with her family since she's going to be gone for a year. They had selected this time frame, and so she prepared a presentation and sent it to Wes, and we're going to hear from her first. She graduated from Buchholz. All three students went to Buchholz, and the three that we have coming in are, the two we have coming in are going to be going to other schools. And we'll tell you about that another day. So first we'll start with Gaylin.
Hello everyone, my name is Galen Marsnick and I am the outbound student going to Austria next year. I want to start off by apologizing that I cannot be speaking to you all today in person, but that being said, I am so happy to be sharing a little bit about my host country with you today. So before we get into my presentation, I am going to start out with an elevator speech prepared in my host language. This is something that the Rotex had us outbounds put together very early on in our language learning experience, and I think it helps me a lot. So that being said, my host language is German, and without further ado, hallo, ich heiße Galen und ich bin eine Austauschschülerin von Rotary Youth aus den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika. Ich bin 17 Jahre alt und lebe in Gainesville, Florida. Meine Familie liebt das Reisen, die Kunst und das Lernen neuer Dinge. Ich bin so glücklich, hier in Österreich zu sein. Es ist ein sehr schönes Land und die Menschen hier sind so nett. Während ich hier bin, hoffe ich sehr, fließend Deutsch sprechen zu können, etwas über ihre Tradition zu lernen und nette Leute kennenzulernen. Eine Austauschschülerin von Rotary Youth ist eine einmalige Gelegenheit und Ihnen allen sehr dankbar. Danke für alles. So in English, that basically means, hello, my name is Galen Marsnick, and I'm a Rotary Youth Exchange student from the United States of America. I'm 17 years old and live in Gainesville, Florida. My family loves travel, the arts, and learning new things. I'm so happy to be here in Austria. It's a beautiful country and the people here are so nice. While I'm here, I hope to speak German fluently, learn your traditions, and meet good people. A Rotary Youth Exchange student, being a Rotary Youth Exchange student is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm so grateful to all of you, so thank you for everything. And so now I'm going to give you my little presentation about Austria, just some fun facts, I think, about the country. So, basic facts. Austria is a landlocked Central European country. The capital of Austria is Vienna, and the currency is the euro. Some countries around Austria would include Italy, Germany, Slovenia, Hungary, and Austria has 9 federal states. So I know that's a lot less than the 50 in the United States of America, but it's a lot smaller country. So from left to right, we've got Vorarlberg, Tyrol, Salzburg, Styria, Carinthia, Upper Austria, Lower Austria, Vienna, and Burgenland. So I will actually be staying in a town within the state of Lower Austria, right around where that red star is. And it is called, the town is called Amstetten. So the pictures here, these 2 on the top corners are just different views of the town. I thought it would be good to include that so you can get a vibe of, the area that I'll be living in. This top middle image is Amstetten's town hall, and these bottom 2 images are of the school that I'll be attending next year, which I found this very interesting because it looks a lot bigger than Buchholz, which is the school that I just graduated from. But I read that it's actually, I think, just a third or just under a third of the amount of students that are actually at Buchholz. So that's very interesting, just the difference. And some things that I'm really looking forward to and things that I hope to experience on this year abroad. One would definitely be midsummer. I think in America, we know this holiday more as summer solstice, but it is a holiday that's celebrated in many different countries all over the world and in many different ways. I read that it's very common for mountaintop bonfires to be lit, mostly in regions of Tyrol. And I think that that is super cool and would be something fun to celebrate and see firsthand. And something else that I really, really look forward to is all the different museums in Austria. I am a big fan of going to art museums. I think it's so fun. It's something I do with my family here. And I can only imagine what that would be like in a country that has been such a heavy influence on the arts throughout the course of history. So I definitely want to hit up a few museums while I'm there. And this slide here is just a little photo collage of a whole bunch of different aspects of Austria. We've got some traditional Austrian foods, some museums. This photo right here is of one of the Easter markets, some different towns and sporting events. And I just included this because I really don't set any firm expectations for how I think my exchange is going to go, how I want it to go. I just want to keep a really open mindset, but I definitely do want to make sure I experience as much of Austria in as many different ways as I can. And that's really what I'm looking forward to the most. So thank you so much for your time and hearing my presentation today. I'm just super excited for this upcoming exchange year, and I know that it would not be possible without you all. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me or contact me by phone at the information on the screen here. Once again, thank you so much. I'm so grateful, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your day. So bye.
Well, you won't be able to ask Galen any questions today, but later on you can. Next up is Delaney Rodkin. She is a graduate of Buchholz, and she is going to Argentina.
Hello, everybody. So my presentation is going to follow just about the same format as Galen's. I'm going to start with my elevator speech in Spanish and then move into my presentation about my country. So, hola, me llamo Delaney y soy una estudiante de intercambio rotario de los Estados Unidos. Tengo 17 años y vivo en Gainesville, Florida. Gainesville está a más de 500 kilómetros al norte de Miami y en el centro entre el Océano Atlántico y el Golfo de México. Yo vivo con mis padres, mi hermano mayor Ben y mi perro Lily. Juntos nos gusta jugar juegos de mesa y ir a acampar. En mi tiempo libre soy una miembro de los Girl Scouts y bailo ballet. Estoy muy emocionada de ir a Argentina. Mientras estoy en Argentina, quiero mejorar mi fluidez en español, aprender sobre su historia y cultura y hacer nuevos amigos. Ser una estudiante de intercambio rotario es una experiencia única en mi vida. Agradezco a mis familias anfitriones, a mi colegio y mis profesores y a mi club rotario. Gracias a todos por hacer posible esta oportunidad. So pretty much in English, thank you. So in English, pretty much I said, hello, my name's Delaney. I'm 17 years old and live in Gainesville, Florida. I described where Gainesville is. I said that I live with my parents, my older brother Ben, and my dog Lily, that together we like to play board games and go camping, and that I'm also a member of Girl Scouts and I dance ballet. I said that I was very excited to go to Argentina and that being a Rotary Youth Exchange student is a unique experience in my life. And I said thank you to my host families, my school, teachers, and my Rotary Club for allowing me to have this opportunity. So now we're going to move on to my presentation, brief presentation about Argentina and what I've learned. So with Argentina. So we're going to start with a brief overview. So the capital is Buenos Aires. The population is 45.81 million people, so it's a pretty big country. Of course, the main language is Spanish, but it also has a lot of Italian influences that I wasn't necessarily aware of before I started the research. And then they also have Quechua and Guarani are both indigenous languages that are still alive. And then their main religion is Catholicism. Actually, the current Pope is from Argentina, and I'll be attending Catholic school next year. So as someone who's always gone to public school, I'm really excited for that different experience. So now we're going to move on to some just basic geography. This picture that's in the background of the slide here is of a glacier that's down in Patagonia National Park. I removed my many slides of Patagonia pictures in order to allow for time, but I wanted to include that one because it's really pretty. I'm going to be going to a city called Chivilcoy. It's about 2 hours west of Buenos Aires. Those two pictures are of a local government building and of a statue that's in the main square. So I want to move on to some culture and sports. I'm sure it's not really going to come as a shock that their most popular sport is football, or what we call soccer. Move on. But there are some other interesting parts of Argentine culture. So the picture that I have up here on your left is of a gaucho. So these are like kind of the main figurehead of Argentine culture. They're portrayed in a lot of literature and art and movies and television, and they're kind of like the Western cowboys. They live in the agricultural lands, free spirits, and they kind of represent Argentina in a lot of culture. Another unique cultural thing in Argentina is called yerba mate. It's a kind of tea that's really popular at all sorts of social events. In fact, when I called my host family, they had one of them just sitting in their living room because it's something that they drink all the time in Argentina. So now on to sports. As we all know, football is very popular. This picture in the top corner is of their National World Cup celebration after this year. When the team arrived home, although it was literally the middle of the night, like thousands of people went into the streets of Buenos Aires to welcome them home. And that's just, I think, a really cool symbolic picture of their support for the sport in their country. And then also rugby is another very popular sport that I wasn't really aware of, but my host brother plays rugby, and so I look forward to learning more about that as well. And lastly, we're just going to move on to some of my goals for exchange. My goals really focus around language, culture, and then relationships. So conversational fluency in Spanish, understanding their history and culture. That photo there at the bottom is of the Biblioteca Nacional Mariano Moreno. So it's their national library in Buenos Aires, which I just think is so pretty, and I really want to visit it. And then I want to develop a relationship with the host family. And so that picture there is of my first host family. Those are my two host parents, and then my host brother, Hanno, he'll be in Belgium while I'm there, but we've been in contact and they're all super nice, and I really look forward to meeting them. So that's kind of the end of my presentation. Thank you all. None of those goals would be able to be accomplished without your support in sending me to Argentina. So thank you all. Thanks for having me today.
I want to take just a moment before I introduce Sam formally and say that this doesn't happen in a vacuum. We have had great input from folks from the district. We have a great team here. Jan and Bill and Guy and Jane helped with an interview, and many other of you. I'm probably forgetting somebody, and if I am, I apologize. Greg and now Linda supporting us, and anybody else who said positive things and rah, you can do this along the way was very helpful, and to help encourage the students to continue on. And because it was a huge process for them to get to this point. They've invested a lot of energy, as well as finishing up their senior year of school. So anyway, so next is Sam Madden, and he is going to Hungary, and he's very excited also.
Thank you, Deborah. Let me just set my timer here. Okay. Last time I went like 6 minutes overtime, and we had 10 minutes then. So yeah, I'm gonna give my elevator speech in Hungarian, and then and then I'm gonna give my presentation, which is mainly Hungarian history, which is what interests me most. I could tell you like what it's like now, but I think that's why I'm going. I'll be able to tell you that when I get back. Okay, so hello, and nevem Sam Madsen és Rotary ifjúsági tárdiak vagyok, ez Egyesül Államokból. 18 éves vagyok, és a Florida Gainesville-ben élek, and my 2 aranyúra van Orlandótól, 5 aranyúra Miami-tól, és 2 aranyúra a tengertől. És igen, egész ebben meleg és napsütés van. A szüleimmel és 7 testvéremmel élek. Apám számvita professzor, mostoha anyám orvos, anyám rajztanár. A családom szívesen gondoskodik az állataikról, és minden évben félhajt Észak-Carolina-ba snowboardozni. Nagyon boldog vagyok, hogy itt lehetek Magyarországon. Az emberek, akikkel itt találkoztam, olyan csodálatosak és kedvesek. Ez egy nagyon szép ország, ugyanolyan szép nyelvvel. Remélem, hogy megismerhetem történelmét és kultúráját, amíg itt vagyok. Rotary ifjúsági családjának Rotary ifjúsági családjáknak lenni egészségi lehetőség az életben. Mindig hálás leszek itt Szeged fogadó családjának, tanáraimnak, iskolának és mindenjüknek a Szegedin fogadó Rotary Klubban, hogy lehetővé tették ezt a lehetőséget. That's all. So, yeah. Thank you. I rewrote that a bit at the end, and I might do another rewrite. I tend to over-prepare, as you'll see in my presentation. So basically it means, my name is Sam Madsen. I'm 18 years old, and I live with my family of 9. We enjoy taking care of our animals, which is really the number one. And then also we go snowboarding once a year in North Carolina. And I'm sure you all know what Gainesville, Florida is like. And I'm very happy to be here in Hungary with all of you wonderful, kind people, which the wonderful and kind still applies, but the hungry doesn't yet. And I'm very, very thankful for this opportunity. Yeah, okay. Well, let's go on with the presentation. Okay, so Bev, is that too best aid, elevator speech? Okay. Okay. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna like give you the beginning and then let's see how far we can get. So the Magyar people were originally just like these 7 different tribes living on the Ural Mountains up there and to the right. So as you can see, the Great Hungarian Plain there, down where modern Hungary is. So the real beginning of the Magyar people, like Magyar is Hungarian, is these 7 tribes like made this pact. Like this is like medieval times. They made this pact and they became one people. And then later 3 other defecting Ottoman tribes joined. So like what they do is these joined tribes, they go down to the Pannonian Steppe, which is the Great Hungarian Plain, the grasslands biome that Hungary is now built on. So they conquered the whole thing. Next slide. Next slide. That's a statue like commemorating them in Budapest still. So that's the whole Pannonian Basin, Pannonian Steppe. And so yeah, so the tribe just scattered in there, and then they like eventually take it over. And so Hungary still like is really based in this land. It's like what makes them Hungarians, because it's full of these giant lakes. And if you look to the left there, that giant lake, that's still in modern Hungary. And so yeah, they've got all these giant rivers like the Danube and all these hot springs. And so next slide. Yeah, and you can see it there, and that's how much of this grassland biome still remains in modern Hungary. Next slide. Okay, and then really skipping over a lot of stuff. 1500s, the Ottomans take over, and like Hungary is split into these 2 smaller parts, and these smaller parts are like, one is occupied by Ottomans, the other is like Hungarians, and they're constantly in civil war, and like the Hungarian people are like really weakened by this. Next slide. So okay, and then like next slide again. Oh, never mind. Go back one. Okay. So the Habsburgs, aka Austrians, take over for a while. Like so this great league of European nations, they come and they kick out the Ottomans, and then they give it to the Habsburgs. And so Hungary is still not doing very well at this time. It's like the Habsburgs are, they're not waging war, but they're kind of repressing the Hungarian people for about 500 years. But things like slowly get better. Hungarians get more rights, but like German is the main language, and they like lose some culture and history. But eventually, like through like the Renaissance and the Industrial Revolution, they start like becoming equal and getting a greater position here, and are eventually recognized as a dual monarchy, and like the Hungarian language is reinstated as their main language instead of German. So next slide. So yeah, that's the lead up to World War I and World War II. We've got 50 seconds left. So yeah, Hungary. Yeah, I'll just tell you about World War II, which is like, so World War II, a lot of anti-Jewish sentiment had built up at the time. So like Hungary was ripe to be like join the Nazis and all that stuff, but actually they resist that for a while because of the leader at the time. But that leader dies, and then like a pro-Nazi takes his place, and then Hungary is now participating in German operations and everything, and this leads to the horrible like hundreds of thousands of Hungarian Jews being sent to the concentration camps all at once at the end of the war. Yeah. So next slide. This is like one of the first like Nazi parties, that flag there. Okay, next slide. And yeah, this is an art piece like memorializing all the people killed in the Holocaust. And then next slide. And so after World War II, the communists take over again, which they had a brief stint earlier, which goes really bad at first until the Great Hungarian Revolution, which is pretty bloody, but like not the, yeah, it's pretty bad. But afterwards, things get better, and like the prime minister like calms down a bit and like lets Western imports in. And Hungary is like called like the greatest gulag under the Iron Curtain. And it's like, so this is actually a pretty great time of peace, even though there's communists taking over. Yeah, and this form of communism is so like nice. It's called goulash communism because the Hungarians liked it so much. And so after this guy, the communist prime minister had like a really long run. And then when it was over, people were just like, it was 1990 and people were ready for democracy. And so they get this like democracy package, which is like, a whole rewritten constitution, democracy package. And it goes great at a while. They have this party system, and next slide. Yeah, these political parties. But so like at first the Socialist Party's in power, but then eventually Viktor Orban's party takes over. Next slide. I put him next to Trump because that's how you can think of him. He's just like, they finally get democracy, and then this guy just comes in and he ruins it, and they're now an elected autocracy because he refuses to let go of power. He's like as immature as Trump. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, there you are. There's a very brief overview of history. Thank you, that's all.
All right, great job. I think we have a few minutes for a couple of questions if anybody has any questions for either of the students. Anybody? We could have let them talk longer. Oh, got some over here.
While I've had a chance to walk alongside these young people as they've gotten ready, I guess my question to each of them is, in what way do you believe that you will change or mature the most while you're away and in your host country?
Well, I like to think of the exchange now as a 2-year thing, and the first year is preparation. And like, I've already changed so much. It's already been 9 months I've been doing this. And like, it's given me like something to live up to and like a reason to grow and, give speeches and be a better person. And like, the abroad is just going to be a fun extension of that, I think. And I'll be able to tell you all about it when I get back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I pretty much second everything Sam says about how this process of just preparing has brought me so far, and I've already grown so much. And I think the exchange is just going to really nurture that independence and that ability to talk to people and to public speak and to just understand a new way of life. And it's just, yeah, I think we're just going to grow and mature a lot in all the ways.
Great. I think we have a question on Zoom.
Yes, Kathy Pierce wants to know what made each of them choose the foreign language that they have learned.
So we were not given, we did not make the final choice in our country. So when we went in for interviews, we were allowed to make a list of the top 5 countries we wanted to go to. And then they ultimately chose for us and assigned us a country. So I wanted to learn Spanish because I had a little bit of previous experience learning in school. Sam, on the other hand.
Yeah, I didn't know Hungary was a country when I signed up.
You knew it was a country, you didn't know.
Well, yeah.
You didn't know it was an option.
So what they say is you don't choose your country, your country chooses you, and that's just like so true. Like, I would not have changed a single thing.
That's great.
Well, I would like to thank the parents for sharing your children with us and for participating and being willing to send them off. But I know. So an important part of Rotary is its Peace Ambassador program. And how do you see yourselves in that role in this next year?
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but like really realistically what it is like you're just a lot of people's main exposure with Americans, and just, yeah, I mean, exposure is what it's all about, like getting to know people and like, yeah, just like dispelling stereotypes and being honest and showing you're just a person. I think that's really the most important part of it.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people get their information about Americans from TV shows and movies, and they don't always portray Americans as authentically as maybe we would have liked. And so, like Sam said, I think for a lot of people, we're going to be their first interaction with Americans. And so to me, it's just about representing our country in a honest and authentic way, and being kind to people and letting them see Americans as how we want our country to be seen.
Well, well said. Thank you all for good presentation. The reason I stand up is what you said, that outside of this wall of United States, people have different perception. I will testify 21 years ago, what I thought of America was Hollywood and Chicago, bigger city, LA, and then I had opportunity to be resettled in Michigan, and I'm like, so where's LA and where's Chicago? So my question is back to you, how would you represent America, no pressure, but to explain that actually America is not the Hollywood? How would you go about it?
I think for me, the best way to explain that America isn't Hollywood is to just be authentically ourselves. I don't think I'm a picture of Hollywood. I don't think Sam or any of the RYU students are. And so I think just being authentically ourselves, and bringing our perspectives and our cultural experiences and just trying to share that as authentically as we can. That's how.
I mean, I don't like cars, I don't like guns or roads, and I don't like Trump, and it's like so I just like be around these people and I share my opinions. Actually, I'm not that passionate about it, but I think, yeah. But yeah, just like, yeah, that's just like, we're a good sample of what most American citizens are like.
All right. My question is for Delaney here, but Sam, I want you to know that I'm proud to be associated with you. You can tell for me that you're what America makes work. Delaney, your parents are going to have a student from another country, so is Galen. So two of our kids that are leaving, their parents are going to be host parents. So have you talked to your parents about your replacement while you're gone? Can you share with us anything about that?
Yeah, so I've read a little bit about my parents' replacement child. He is coming from Austria, but he's coming from a different part than where Galen's going. So he's coming from a small town of about 2,500 people. He's going to go to GHS, which is going to be a cool experience for him. But my parents are really excited to host a student. They know how excited I am and how eager I was to partake in this program, and they know that I wouldn't be able to go without having host families in Argentina, and so I think they're really looking forward to giving another student the opportunity to experience the United States and have this opportunity as well.
Okay, last question.
Do you know about the family you're going to be staying with? Because we lived in Sri Lanka, and we got a call from the embassy one day saying, we have a Rotarian student down here and we don't know what to do with him. So I want to make sure that you have a family to go to.
Yeah. So I do. Yeah. So in my picture, or on my last slide of my presentation, there's my family there. Or at least those are my first host families. So while we're there, we'll live with 2 to 3 families for 3 months to a semester each to get to learn about different family styles and different cultural practices. So that was my first host family. My parents are Marcela and Alejandro, and their son is Hano, and he's going to be in Belgium while I'm there. So pretty interconnected world of RYE, but I've done some video calls with them, and they're all super nice and super understanding and just so eager to have a student live with them, and I can't wait to meet them.
Yeah, I think everyone's gotten in contact with their at least first host parents so far. And I think most of these people are like sending away their kid and then taking one. So like, I think they'll make sure to know we're coming.
Good.
All right,
That's
great. Thank you so much. Let's give these guys another round of applause. And I do want to echo Deborah's comments. This is probably one of the toughest projects that we pull off every single year. And so Deborah and Guy, Jan, Bill, and Jane, and everybody else that was involved in this process, thank you so much. And of course, to our students, thank you for taking on this challenge and representing our club abroad. And we look forward to hearing your experiences when you come back. I also want to take the opportunity to recognize the Greater Gainesville Club because they are helping us this year to support these students. And so they've been a great partner with us, and we're looking forward to continuing that partnership in the future. So again, I did want to thank them. Charles Allen was hoping to be here today, but he was unable to make it. So I did want to share that. For next week, it's going to be a great presentation. We have Bridget Boswell, who is an ambassador scholar that our club sponsored many years ago. Her former name was Bridget Andrea Johnson, if you were around back then. She is coming from South Africa to visit the United States, and she's going to be speaking with us while she's here. And with any luck, she is a current owner of a vineyard, and she's going to be bringing samples for us. Yeah, we're mixing things up here at lunchtime. So that's the plan for next week. With that, quote of the day. As the young leaders of tomorrow, you have the passion and energy and the commitment to make a difference. What I'd really like to urge you to do is to have a global vision. Go beyond your country, go beyond your national boundaries. And that's Ban Ki-moon. With that, the winning number for today is 346. 346. Randy's got it. Okay, and with that, our meeting is adjourned.